정말 빨리.
Yes, it was quite quick coming up to the stage. So I can see you have a lot of things to say on the stage because you made it very quick to the stage. So in the maritime industry in Korea, we have a very long history and we have a great panelists and speakers. So it's a really great pleasure for me to moderate the session. And today we are talking about the work-life balance. So, well, to the three ladies, I'd like to ask a common question. According to the social survey published by the Statistics Korea, um, the respondents who said that both work and life are important, it's about 50%. So the ratio is getting higher. People want to work, and I guess you have diverse experiences of working in different countries. So what are the other countries' trend in terms of the work-life balance? Can you share your observations quickly based on your experiences? Can you share your experiences? We're gonna start. Okay, you're gonna go first.
Hello, I am Jawon Kim, President of Korea Venture Business Women's Association, Busan. I am running a trading company, and again, I'm Kim Jawon. Well, I don't know, I'm so nervous to be up here. Well, why don't we give her a big round of applause? Thank you. So, 90% of our export products go to Japan. So I have a great understanding in the Japanese society, and I know that young people in Japan also values work-life balance greatly as well. Okay, thank you, and Ms. Jung.
Hello, good afternoon. I work in the oil and gas industry as an engineer for 13 years. I'm Jung Young-kyung. Well, work-life balance is not just about the Korean issue, and people around the world also pursue the work and life balance in the U.S. or the Netherlands, as the ambassador just described. The Western European countries with great deal of the economic development, or the MZ generation, or the younger generation, really put a higher value on the work-life balance.
란트 대사님 아까도 말씀.
And next, Ambassador. Well, you had a presentation earlier, and seeing Korean women, well, do you have any comments on their work-life balance compared to your country? Do you think things are not really easy for Korean women here?
너무 빨리 대답이 나왔어요.
No, I can confirm that. I mean, I can see but everywhere, like you mentioned, in other countries as well, everybody is trying to cope. But when I started here, I also had a talk with the female employees in my embassy, talking to them, young mothers, how they try to combine. And I mean, then to my amazement, okay, but where's your husband? I mean, and then to realize that he is not into cooking and he's not into picking up the children and he's not into how can you choose such a man, no? But okay, that's I mean, everybody makes its choices. But I can see the struggle here because there's a lot of pressure on Korean women to have the children. There's a lot of competition for the children to go to the one university to have the best education, and it's also as a society what you do to each other, no? But it's very difficult to break that cycle, I think. So, but I can see the challenge, and it's not only Korea, and it's as I mentioned, it's also in the Netherlands, and support each other and talk about it. That's already, I think, one part of the solution.
왠지 조금 마음이
Well, I feel better now. Well, I don't know why, but I guess that this is a common issue of the global community, so we have to work together and support each other to find a solution. And again, I have a question to Ms. Kim Ja-won again. So you have long been in the field of Korea women's venture industry. So based on your experience, what kind of comment can you provide for our audience today? Well, if you look at the women venture companies and small and medium companies in Korea, I believe that they are always short on money. Well, that's the issue for me as well. At first, I thought that working hard will solve all the problems. However, that's not true. We need some partnership with other agencies, and we need to get some support and help from other agencies. And those supports can greatly benefit your companies, and I am getting a lot of help for my company too. And working with the Korea Business Women's Venture Association, I learned that I have to share my energy with others so that more female workers and female CEOs can find new opportunities and create new things together and share them with one another. So I am learning from them too. So I think that this Korea Venture Business Women's Association is a great benefit for me too. I believe that you do have a lot of challenges as well. I know that the association is doing a great job, but you must have some challenges that you have to tackle as well. Well, because we are women, I think that women business people are asked by many that, why are you here? Don't you need to go home and take care of your child? Also, I think how others view these female business leaders, we need to change that. So, well, I do believe that we have to change our mindset first. We don't have to set limits for ourselves. We have to believe that male and female can do the same thing. If we have that firm belief, we can do anything. So I guess that things are progressing though, because earlier in the past, many women were asked by people like, oh, your husband might not have the job so that you're working now. So, well, I guess the things are progressing at least. And I also know that you are the expert in the trade industry. So what is the work-life balance for those industry? Well, we don't have any balance actually in my field, I have to admit. Well, we didn't really have the term like work-life balance for the trade industry. Well, actually, I'm over 60 now. So that means that I've been working since like the 80s. So female workers had to work so hard in the past. So that means that they focused on working so much. So adopting the concept of work-life balance itself was a challenge for many female workers in my field, actually. And at the same time, people thought that maintaining good life with husband and family while working was impossible back then. However, we tried a lot, and I also tried to make some work-life balance culture in my company as well. I see. So now I think that we can have some small talk with Ms. Song.
정경경
So you are now taking it over. Maybe things are better for you as a younger generation. So as you work, you have been working for many capital projects, inshore and offshore. So you might have met a lot of women in the maritime industry. So is there something that was different? I mean, in terms of the number or the roles compared to the other sectors? What about their work-life balance? Well, the maritime or the heavy engineering industry, it's really hard work. So compared to the male, we have a lower percentage of women working in the field. However, the women, many leaders of the maritime industry were very professional and they were very proud about what they do. and also they had very high positions in the company. And also, I was very inspired by them, and they were my mentor, and I also feel very proud. And even though we are women in the maritime industry, they still took the opportunity and they can realize their potential. So physically, it might be really hard. What about that? Because in the broadcasting and the TV network, we selected these whole camera engineers, and you have to carry these heavy cameras, and you have to work, and it's not really easy for women. So they didn't really recruit women camera engineers. So what about that? The physical, like the energy level. What about the maritime industry? Well, of course, yes, physically, I wouldn't say it's not hard, but I think the work-life balance, it's also about take care of your fitness and the physical energy. So many professional women also take care of their fitness and the physical energy as a professional. So they don't really have that kind of difficulty that much. Do you have kids? No, I'm not married. So if you have any children, well, maybe you should ask your mother or mother-in-law to take care of your kids. So what's your plan? Well, maybe I should outsource that to some service, childcare service company. Or maybe later, yeah, right, we have to develop such childcare services. Thank you for that.
옮겨보-
And now I would like to have some talk with the ambassador here. You are from a different culture, but we do have some commonalities as well. So, like we said, the Netherlands ranked the first in terms of work-life balance. But listening to you, we know that the Netherlands still needs to overcome some challenges to achieve true gender equality. So personally, do you think that there are some important things that you have to tackle for work-life balance? Well, from the economic perspective or policy-wise, any comments?
Policy-wise, because I mean, it really, what's very important is in Europe and also in the Netherlands, is that we have legislation, that we are all equal. So you can fight if you feel that you're discriminated because you're a woman, or that you're fired because you are pregnant, or that they don't admit you because you might become pregnant. I mean, all these things right now, you can go to court, or we have all kind of institutions where you can complain and they take your statement seriously. So knowing right now in Korea, you are discussing the Non-Discrimination Act, and that's very wide, but I think it's so important to have such a legislation that states that everybody is equal. So that's one thing. And the other thing, it takes time. It takes time to get used to that, also with your parents-in-law, to convince them that you need your own career and that you want to be independent as well. Because that our focus right now is really on financial independence. So that's why it's so important for the women to have a job, to have their own colleagues, that although it's perhaps only 2 days a week, but from there you can grow further. But to give them that independence, that they are not, because also we talked about these weeks about gender-based violence, and that especially right now in COVID times, it's such a big problem because everybody is sitting together in this one house, and the temperatures get higher, and arguments get stronger. But if you're more equal, if you have your own income, if you are independent, you don't have to accept everything that's being said. So we really focus on that right now, also policy, to make those women that they can work, perhaps not full-time, but really work. And in order to do that, you need facilities, daycare centers, they are being subsidized, a long period of parental care, a period of part-time working for the first 2 years after that you gave birth, or all these kind of facilities to help these women to grow in their own field. And so these kind of things really help. And to have examples, somebody that you look up to from, okay, that person did it. I mean, although she had children, or perhaps you don't need to have children, but you can make it in this male world. And sometimes I think we really have to do double our best to show that we can do it. I remember when I came here, I had people, okay, you're going to be a female ambassador in Korea? Netherlands must not be sure. They will not take you seriously in Korea because it's so male-oriented. And I said, okay, I'll show them. I'll show them that I can prove that. They should take me seriously. So I mean, we have to fight. We have to show perhaps a little bit extra. But we have to be vocal and, yeah, support each other. I think that's a very important one. Councilman.
파이트란 단어 나오니까 갑자기 긴장.
They Thank you. And I know that male and female are not competing with each other actually, but when it comes to work-life balance, sometimes we feel like that we have to fight with one another. Well, and actually, you know, sometimes, we don't have exact working hours in Korea. So, well, for work-life balance, you said that we do have to set some examples and make some role models. So I believe that you can be a great mentor for the younger generation as well. So any advice as a mentor again then? Well, actually, and I would like to know more. I'd like to hear from Ms. Kim as well. Well, actually, I don't really have a clear understanding of work-life balance because personally, I've focused on working so much. So for next generation, well, I'm not really sure I can give the advice. However, well, I would like to say that they have to have some specific schedules for their daily life, like lunchtime or some resting time. And I know that it's really hard to keep up with the all schedules as planned. However, if you make schedule for yourself, probably the result will be better. Well, it feels like that you are telling them you should not live like me. Right, exactly. Thank you. That's good advice, I think.
안 사실
So you don't want to live like that, right? No work-life balance. What do you think? Because you are the next generation. So maybe you feel bad about this senior woman. Well, I'm not an MZ generation, so I can't really say that I have really separate like a work and life. But in terms of the work and life balance, what I did to achieve the balance was, well, first you have to be strong in terms of the physical energy, because you can really play hard when you are energetic and physically strong. So this physical strength was one thing that I worked really hard, and the second thing that I worked for was, well, you have to really choose and concentrate well in some area. If you want in some field, you need to make some sacrifices, I would say, for a certain number of hours. By that I mean you first to set your own priority, and depending on how much value you put on the priorities, you have to concentrate on those top priorities. That's what I did. So, Miss Jung, you are now taking a sabbatical, or you are planning to sabbatical. So, how long do you think you will take the sabbatical leave? Well, not really preparing for or planning for the leave, but my mentor and I have my very great leader, and in my early 30s, the mentor has been telling me that you have to really plan for your retirement when I was early 30s. So, well, the retirement was not my thing when I was early 30. So I didn't really feel the need and I didn't really take it seriously. But as time went by and as I watched people retiring and what happened to their families, well, I thought that I need to think about and plan for my post-retirement years. So I set up the plan. So, I decided to take the sabbatical, well, not from some age, but that's not it. But I decided to have some sabbatical in my 40s at some point. So I didn't have any ambitious, great, well detailed plan. But as we are living longer, like even 100 years, when I am like a 60s or 70s, I may not be healthy as I am today. So I will need to take some time to plan for the second chapter. So how long are you getting there? Well, my plan is to take 1 year of sabbatical. Well, but I want to clear my own bucket list and I want to do something for me. So she said that she maybe envy you. So when I was 44, I also took sabbatical for 1 year. And during this 1 year of break, I really enjoyed every moment of it. And I went to New York. And on the first day, there was no one who was calling me. But I was really enjoying this whole moment. I am away from all things. I don't need to wear makeup. And no one is really recognizing me. And no one is calling me. It was not lonely, but I feel very liberated. So after the 1 year, I could really work well. So, and like Miss Kim, or in your generation, it could not be something that was imaginable. So that's really changing the world for the younger generation. So with the limited time, I mean, I think I need to ask the last question for each one of you. So first to Miss Kim, let me ask the question.
So I saw that you were the participant at the Co-Marine and you were introducing your products. So I know that you are closely working with the shipping industry. So in order to increase the female worker in the shipping industry, what kind of culture do we need? I know that it's not easy, but any comment or advice? We provide some goods for the shipbuilders. However, I don't have a very clear understanding of the shipping industry. However, based on my experience and research, I can see that female workers in the shipping industry needs to take some challenges. A first issue is that many female students do not really have interest in the shipping industry. And the reason they don't have interest in the field is that they have no knowledge about that. So I believe that promoting the shipping industry can make a difference. Like when they are young, we have to let them know that the shipping industry can be a great area to work in. Particularly, Busan City is surrounded by the ocean. So, well, letting the children know what the shipping industry is and what maritime industry is, I think that it can be of great help. My daughter knows what ship is and what kind of components we need to make a ship. She knew about it when she was young. However, I know that other kids do not really have that kind of understanding. So I hope that we can educate our children more and more so that they don't build some bias on themselves. And I also hope that they can attend a lot of job fairs as well so that they can have a better understanding of various industries and occupations. So we have to lower the entry barriers so many people can easily access the industry and they can easily understand what the ship is and what the shipping industry is. Then I believe that many of them will be more interested in the field. That's a great comment. Thank you so much. And now my question goes to the ambassador again then. Well, here in Busan, we have Yeongdo Island, and we do have a lot of marine-related institution in the island. We have like 16 public agencies, and they're making a big complex, marine complex. And I know that the Netherlands has a lot of marine research institutes, including Marine and NIOZ. And these institutions are working hard to achieve a balanced ratio of male and female workers. So in order to reduce the number gap between these female and male workers, what kind of policies can we make? Any advice for our government?
Being a low-lying country with a third below sea level, so I mean, a lot of the work is related to water management, and also the institutes, like you mentioned, for marine and all that. So there's already cooperation going on between the institutions here in Korea and the Netherlands. To work on the research, to have more women. I really like the idea that you mentioned, indeed, to involve already at a young generation, to open your institute or your sector for children. Work together with the schools, organize like an outing and show them in a safe way what it is, how exciting it is. And it could be also in a research institute. I mean, there's a lot of interesting stories to tell them. And having the researchers to tell them themselves how excited they are, what they're doing. So show children at a young age what is possible. And then, so that would be more to involve more female students in that sector. And then having to keep those researchers and female workers, indeed to facilitate working hours, making flexible hours possible, daycare center, all these kind of things that I think that would help also to have them participating. And then there's one tip that, I mean, we talked about role models. So also, I mean, to make the fathers to take up parental leave, because I know you have a legislation here as well that's possible to do that, but they don't do it because it might cost your career. We have the same in the Netherlands. So we decided within our ministries that our director generals, if they're fathers, they have to take a day off. They have to show, okay, tomorrow I'm not in the office because I'm going to be daddy day. I mean, only one day a week, but okay, he's going to be a daddy that day. And he just stops all his meetings, or he's going home at 4 o'clock in the afternoon because he has to pick up his children. To show managers, to show that to their workers, that helps, so that they know, okay, we can do that as well. And I can be a manager, whatever, and I can still pay attention to my family as well. So you need role models and to implement and show to the others. Thank you.
예, 저희 생각하고 좀 비슷한.
Well, I agree totally with your comment. And now I would like to give the question to Ms. Kim again.
같아요.
So, in the Korean society, especially in the maritime industry, to be an ambitious, successful woman, do you have any advice to make the changes in our society? We need this. Any thoughts, any ideas on this? Can you share your thoughts? Well, it's not about any particular field that we need to improve, but as a whole, across our society, we need to improve the work-life balance, and people need to change their mindsets. Well, for example, 52-hour work week mandated by the government, that's not what we need. Well, parental leave is something that you must take. So your boss or your colleagues have to respect your work-life balance. That's one thing that we need to have in the first place. Okay, thank you. So 3 panelists or the speaker, I think, made very consistent comments. In the science high school in Korea, a lot of male students go to the science high school, and less than 10% is the female or girl the students. So the science is for men and the other sectors are for women. I think we have this bias in Korea. So I think your inspiring comments and sharing of experiences will help us to make some changes in Korea. So that concludes the discussion. Thank you very much.